And this is on the turbo setting, and dang, this is a bright light. I mean, wow, I have never had a headlamp this bright. Hey guys, so the folks over at flashlightbrand.com had seen my caving TikToks and asked if I would be interested in reviewing the Fenix HM60R for them. And I explained to them that as long as they understood that I only post honest reviews, even if you give me free stuff, I'd be happy to do it. So when I'm considering what makes a good headlamp, I'm thinking about four things. First thing I'm thinking about is how bright it is. How many lumens are we running? Is it functional in that sense? The second one is battery life. Am I going to get a good battery time out of it? The third one is waterproofness. Is that a word? Waterproofness? I just want to make sure that it's going to stay working when it's submerged in water. And lastly, the cost to brightness ratio. Am I getting a good buy for the amount of light that I'm going to get out of it? So those are the four things I looked at, and I can tell you that in 3 of the 4 categories, I give this headlamp a 5 out of 5. I tested the light on 5 different caving trips, ranging from 2 hours to 15.5 hours. And I waited to do a review until after I'd completed the 15.5 hour trip, which I knew was going to test the battery life, and I was going to submerge it several times as we had to go through bathtubs in the cave. So brightness. As far as that goes, the Fenix HM60R is boasting 1200 lumens. Yeah, it's that bright. Are there brighter headlamps on the market? Sure. But given the fact that 20 years ago we were oohing and ahhing over 200 lumens, 1200 is amazingly bright. There is a caveat with the turbo. I went into a cave and I ran it on turbo setting for 2 hours and 20 minutes before the battery died. But you're not getting 1200 lumens for 2 hours and 20 minutes. In fact, after 30 minutes, it starts stepping down. It still stays bright, and the step down is so gradual that you don't really notice it, but you're only getting 30 minutes at 1200 lumens. And of course, you're not running 1200 lumens all the time, which is turbo mode. So you'll notice up here, you've got 2 different lights. Actually, you got 3. So this is the spot, this is the flood, and then this is the red. And the spot has 4 settings. It has the turbo at 1200, which will light up 116 meters or 380 feet. The high setting is at 350 lumens, and it will light up to 60 meters or 197 feet. At medium, you're getting 130 lumens, which is 36 meters, 118 feet. And then on the low setting, you're at 30 lumens, which is 18 meters or 55 feet. So those are your 4 settings for the spot. Over here on the flood, you're getting 2 levels. High is 350 lumens, 33 meters, 108 feet. And then the low setting is 70 lumens, 15 meters, 49 feet. And then, like I said, you've got a red light over here, which I never use, and it also has a red SOS that is just going to flash. Again, it's not something that I've ever used, and I don't expect to ever use it. When it comes to brightness, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. Battery life is where I fell in love with this thing. When I started caving 21 years ago, we expected to have to change out our AA batteries every 2 hours. The HM60R on turbo mode lasts 2 hours. But it was my 15-hour trip that made me fall in love with this thing. 13 hours before I had to change my battery. 13 hours of battery life. Running the spot on primarily medium and then stepping up to high or low depending on where I was at, and just a couple times on turbo, I went 13 hours before I had to change the battery out. 13 hours. It blows my mind. My favorite headlamp that I was using prior to this, I was happy if I got 8 hours of burn time on a battery. Okay, word on the battery. Not all 18650s are made alike. The Fenix comes with its own battery. It's a 2600 milliamp hour 3.6 volt battery. And this is what you have to use with this lamp. Unfortunately, all the other 18650 batteries I have that power my zebra lights will not work in the Fenix. But given the lifespan of this one battery, my other headlamps can serve as backups. One nice feature is if you just press the power button once, see that green light? That's telling me that this battery has more than 85% of its life left. If it's flashing green, then it's between 50 and 85. If it's red, it's below 50%. And if it's flashing red, it's below 25%. So obviously I'm giving 5 out of 5 when it comes to battery life. All right, so waterproofness, and this is the category where I only give 4 out of 5 stars for it. What I'm concerned about is the possibility of human error. This is your USB-C charging port, and it's really nice. You don't have to take the battery out of the lamp in order to charge it. The danger is if you forget to close this, or if you think that you closed it all the way and you haven't, you're going to flood that and drown it. On my first trip, I was getting ready to go in the cave and I just happened to glance down. I'm like, oh, that thing's open. So human error could drown your headlamp. And then my last category is return on costs. As I said, the folks at flashlightbrand.com gave me this lamp to use, so obviously I got to test it for free. However, this lamp comes in at under $80 and it gives you 1200 lumens and 13 hours of battery life and all of that. So definitely 5 out of 5 on the value of the light. So one final thought, in the middle of testing the headlamp, I got to watch the National Geographic documentary, The Deepest Cave, which you can see on Disney+. What stood out to me in that documentary was how many of these world-class explorers were wearing Fenix headlamps. If it's good enough for a world-class caver, then I think it's good enough for me. As always, check my trailspace.com account for a written description with more specs and extra pictures. I'm Goose with 2 zeros instead of O's. I'll be posting all that stuff there. Cave softly and leave no trace.